Alright, we are going to begin the next 10-minute segments, this time putting in a proposed vertical for two alignments. Remember the west-east and the south-north. We're going to begin by opening our file. Understand each time here I'm checking. I should be checking to make sure that all my settings are correct, but since I'm at home, I'm not really worried. I don't need to go through all those visuals each time. If I was at school, if I was sitting down at the same computer, you'll start to figure out when your visuals are wrong. All right, if you remember, if we go with V, we set up some views for everything. So we have a couple views, an overall profile here. And if you start to lose toolbars, once you start using views, a view toolbar is a great thing to have it around. So minus toolbar is one way to get to the view toolbar, and then you've got to show it. And there, which means I can jump back and forth pretty easily. I'm going to go to overall here, and I kind of might want to see what my elevation is out there. Well, depending on what I've got current, I might or might not have my surface. I might want to see. I should know by now with my surface here. I am going to go ahead and change my surface properties. Again, all kinds of different ways to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and put them right now on my contours. Existing, that would make sense. Okay, and now I'm at about it. I'm going to take that road up to 1250. You see, I'm just going to be a little bit of a fill with these roads. So you kind of want to have some starting points to do this. We'll look a little bit about playing around with the view properties now when we go ahead and get to that next step, which is going to be here. Creating a proposed profile. So we've got all this stuff set. We know our elevation is going to be about, let me check again, if you remember here, at around, right, all these different things come. If I select that there, different settings, as you see, will come in and out depending when there's a lot going on in a drawing. So I'm trying to kind of get a general feeling here. It's about 1250 is what I want. So I come back to my surface again. I still learn to keep it turned off or at least somewhat muted. No display. The bad thing about going to no display is, in fact, then you can't really grab it and you can't use the kind of dynamics aspects of the tools. All right, you should have written down, really, we haven't, but you should have written down your starting and ending stations, 10, and if it's a mile across, that should be easy. Should be 6280 and 70, and then up again to 122.80. Write these things down. One I really want to know then is the center line, which is at 36. The intersection station equation is 36 plus 40 equals 96 plus 40. Now it's going to be a nice idea to go to V for view, head out to profile 1, set current. Okay, and you'll get to a point here. The first time we'll really start playing around in the profile view properties here. Going to be a big deal. I can tell you just when you're staring at all those lines, we're going to go ahead and view the properties. Kind of look at all the way through here, elevations. That's not the one we want. So now we're going to go instead to the actual display. So we're going to go to the edit profile view style. So we're going to go here in that style, and one thing we're going to be turning on and off a lot is going to be the grid. The grid is there for display. You know station elevation times 10. So this is going to make this a little easier now. And if you think about it, we can now go ahead and we know where we want to go because it's 1250. And so we're going to go to here, create a profile creation tools. We're going to select the profile and you get a tool here. We're going to go west to east center line. We're going to call it west to east center line. We'll just let it come in automatically this time. I'm curious what comes. We're going to hit OK. And now this, in fact, will be, really you should be doing this more mathematical than this, but we'll go ahead and just go ahead and draft tangents without curves. And we're going to draft our tangent from the shift right click from the end point of there. And now is what you see the importance of knowing where you are on the plane and where you are on in the coordinate system, we can just type in, by not putting an at, we can put in 3640 for our station and then 1050 for our elevation, and you see it goes there, right? We got a lot of cut would appear on here. Something is definitely not wrong. Something's definitely not right. When we look at the kind of the sense of 1040, 1050, if we go back to what we expected our existing to be in the order of 1250, so I must have misread. So I'm going to go U for undo, U for undo, U for undo, and I'm going to try it again. Very dynamic. Draw tangents from the end point here. So you're using a visual check. I wrote down 1050. I obviously wanted 1250, so I'm going to go not use the at, right? Because we're not doing relative in this case. Though you're more likely to be using relative commands, changes in y and x, and with the changes in y being 10 times than the other way around, because you're actually thinking about designing when you're doing profiles between some maximum and minimum grades. So we're going to go to an ending point of 3640 with an elevation of, and again, I didn't do it right there. You know it comes in the wrong way. And erase that out. Try it one more time. Using visual tools, we're going to create a profile for this one here, right? Okay. And I'm kind of made too many profiles, but I'm going to draw tangents from the endpoint here. And I'm going to station 3640, comma, 1250, 0. Kind of went to where I knew it was supposed to go. And we're going to take it right back down to the end here. To the shift right click to the end point of that. And we should have a profile done. We can now do that again. We're going to make a proposed. This time it's going to go to station 9640 at the same elevation. And then we'll start playing around with that once we get our corridors. So we're kind of pre-planning to get close at very least at any points where we have intersecting horizontal alignments. That would be the case unless we were doing flyovers or underpasses or something like that, which is going to be not as big a deal now that the Olympics are not coming to Chicago, but I still presume there'll be a fair bit of work in rail corridors in the next 5 to 10 years. So we're going to go ahead and the term you're going to hear for this kind of splitting up the grades is grade separation. But in this case, we're not going to grade separate. We're going to go ahead and do a surface profile creation tools. We're going to grab that there. And now, same thing. It knows where we're going. We're going to hit OK. And we're going to create a tool. We'll go at create tangents without tools, without curves. We're going to go from the end point. Notice how often you use that shift right click. The next point is going to be 9640, comma, 1250, 0. That is why you put things all on the same coordinate system, even though you're working in different alignments. To the shift right click to the end point here, right? And you're done. So there you have it. We have done 2 proposed vertical alignments. We have 2 existing vertical alignments, and you're going to see later on we'll start playing around with how these things actually appear in because at the moment these are both showing as being heavy, one being not being dashed, one is not. So we've got some work to do, it would appear. You've got a few things around here kind of floating around. Realistically, we could go ahead and erase this whole profile view right now and everything would come back because the data is the data. And by erasing the profile view, I do not think, but we'll have to check, that erases out the actual proposed profile. Once again, you've got 3 pieces of data in each curve to write down on your sheet of paper so you're keeping track, or stick it in your head. That's 10 minutes. See you, bye.